to see me doing email.
Oh, okay.
All right. Good evening, all. Hey, Ned.
Good evening, John. How are you?
I'm doing all right, sir. Thanks. I think we've got our quorum. All right. Although Hans, I know, can't make it, but I expect Ingrid and Wendy. So I'll stall a little bit.
Okay.
6 inches of rain in Kingston
Is that
6,
right?
really? Well, that's a
Yes.
lot of water.
for one
Yes.
storm. Yeah, in like one day and a half.
Well,
Yeah.
how many inches at the Blue Hill?
And much less. I don't think it was even 2. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, it looks like we're at the 7:30 mark. So we've got our quorum. So let's begin. All right. I think we're already recording, so we don't have to announce anything. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the October 14th, 2025 meeting of the Milton Conservation Commission. Commission members are appointed by the Select Board to implement the rules and regulations of the Wetlands Protection Act for the state and the town bylaw governing wetlands. 2 issues of formality under the open meeting law. Number 1, we invite everybody to speak, to ask questions, make comments, but we do ask that you identify yourself for the record, and we are being recorded. And then second, as a matter of courtesy and formality, we introduce ourselves. My name is John Kiernan. Let me read right across the top of my screen. Steve, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Steve Ibis, conservation agent for Milton.
Philip?
Hi, Philip Driscoll, Conservation Clerk.
Tom Palmer?
Tom Palmer, commission member.
Arthur Doyle?
Arthur Doyle, commission member.
Charlie Bosworth?
Charlie Bosworth, commission member.
Aha, we were just joined by Ingrid. Can you introduce yourself?
Ingrid Beatty, commission member.
Hey, great. Good news. Thanks. Hi, Ingrid. All right. Number 1 and number 2 on the agenda are going to be presented by Marina Fernandez, the town engineer and director of the DPW. I'd probably put that in reverse order, but she's director of the DPW. She's running a little behind, so we're going to go right to number 3, which is Certificate of Compliance 34 Milton Hill Road. Do we have a presenter for that? I don't know. Isn't that Josh Wild? I think is the developer, and I don't see him on board this evening. So we'll just kind of hold that in abeyance and go to number 4, which is that's you, Ned, at 600 Canton Avenue and 85 Highland Street.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Ned Corcoran, for the record, representing Milton Residents for the Elderly, Winter Valley Residents, Inc. 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, the commission approved an order of conditions for work associated with a new building 6 at Winter Valley. There was a isolated wetland that's going to be affected, and there was a significant amount of agreement between Winter Valley and the town relative to the replication of that wetland next door to town wetlands down on Canton Avenue at the corner of Highland Street, and a number of things. The order of conditions provided for a 3-year construction period as a result of significant delays with respect to HUD and its funding cycles and funding process. That work is about to begin, but is not yet started and would not be complete by this coming January. So we are requesting a 2-year extension of the order of conditions so that we have time to get the work done.
Sounds like a reasonable request. What are you asking for an extension?
2 years.
Yes. 2 years.
So
All right,
from
any-
January of 26 until January of 28.
All right. Are there any members of the commission that have a question or want to make a comment? Are there any? Yes. Did somebody say
Mr.
yes?
Chairman, Steve Ibis, submit.
Yes.
Sounds very reasonable request.
Good enough. Are there abutters or members of the public that want to ask a question or make a comment? I don't see any, but I'm not sure I see everybody on the screen. Seeing none, and I think Mr. Wild has just joined us. But so that we can carry this, is there a motion to extend for a period of 2 years the order of conditions for 600 Canton Avenue, 85 Highland Street, which is building number 6, as presented by Attorney
Mr.
Cochran?
Chairman, I move that Winter Valley's request of a 2-year extension until January 5th, 2028 be adopted by the commission.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Ingrid? Thank you very much, Ingrid. Is there any discussion among commission members? Hearing none, I'll go right across the top. Tom Palmer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur Doyle?
Yes.
Charlie Bosworth?
Yes.
Ingrid Beatty?
Yes.
And I, John Kieran, vote yes as well. That's unanimous. So you've got your 2-year extension, Ned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go backwards on the agenda. That was number 4. So number 3 is certificate of compliance, 34 Milton Hill Road. And Josh, I just saw you appear. You're on mute and I can't see you, but I think you're there. Here you are.
Good evening.
All right. Hi. We went by you initially, but we're now back to you on the agenda. Can you tell us what you're looking for and why?
Sure, not a problem. Good evening, members of the board. My name is JD Wild. I currently reside at 46 Milton Hill Road. I'm here tonight presenting on behalf of a project that we had approved before this board in December of 22 for 34 Milton Hill Road. Jim Burke, who is the engineer of record, I believe is going to jump on here, but he might have been anticipating a little bit later of an agenda timing. So we are seeking an extension in the short term. I am operating on a temporary certificate of occupancy currently in my house at 46 Milton Hill because the certificate of compliance has not been completed. We did do we did complete the scope of work last spring, including all the plantings. So this winter will be the second of the growing season. So we've had 2 springs, 2 summers, 2 falls, 1 winter, and this upcoming winter will be the second winter. So in order to extend my certificate of occupancy, the building department has asked that I get an extension until we're able to get a final certificate of completion.
So that would be, if we need a date certain, you want a year?
1 year would be fine, yes. I intend to come back before the board in the spring of next year, which would be 2 full growing seasons for a completed certificate of compliance.
Okay. Steve, have you been to the site? And when I say the site, I know there are 2 addresses.
That is correct, yeah. It was originally 1 site. I subdivided into 2 lots.
Not recently, John.
Okay. All right. Well, perhaps sometime in the next, I'm looking for a date so we can extend it for a year, and then maybe you can just come in whenever whenever the spirit moves you, and you've got your certificate from the building department.
Sure, 1 year would be fine. John, from a housekeeping matter, does the board prefer to do a site walk now, or would they prefer to do one at the closure in the spring?
It probably would make sense to do it in the spring, because if
Yeah.
the planting season, if you've passed your 2 growing seasons, and sometimes we go back and forth as to whether or not it's 2 growing seasons or 2 years. And the issue becomes how many growing seasons in a year. But if we do it this spring, it would make perfect sense.
Okay, that was what I thought as well. Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
why don't you, would you want to set a date for this one, or just schedule the site visit? Maybe just a site visit in anticipation of if we give you that approval, then that can advance the building department as well.
Sure. So just so I understand, for the extension, you want to do a site visit, and then also to close it out, you want an additional site visit?
No, that's the site visit would be to close it out. The extension piece,
understood.
we'll give you the
Thank
extent.
you. I appreciate
I mean to
that.
speak for the others, but that's really not an issue for us.
Yep.
So why don't we do two things, one at a time? First, move to extend the order conditions, and then secondly, set up a date next spring. And I'll just guess April. I think things will be starting to bud at that point,
Yep.
and we'll put it on for a site visit. And Philip, just for purposes of record keeping, why don't we choose the date of the April meeting, and then we can adjust that date because we're not going to do it on that particular Tuesday night. But do you have those dates already set up for 2026?
Not yet, but I can look in the calendar right now and tell you when it would be. And let's see. So it would be the 14th of April in 26.
Okay.
Yep,
4/14.
I would agree with that.
All right. And that we'll put it down for site visit, but that's actually not going to happen because that's the regular meeting, just like this one is. But as we get closer, we can adjust the date because we typically set up site visits at each meeting. So
Understood.
that'll be easy to adjust.
Understood.
So the first motion would, unless I should stop, are there any comments from abutters or members of the public? I don't see any and don't hear any, therefore I'll entertain a
John?
motion.
John,
Yes,
you didn't ask for comments from commissioners?
comments from commissioners, of course.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I did look at the plans we did get. Even though I really didn't understand what the question was, I understand it now. But I just might say to Mr. Wild, these are two things I noticed on the plans that you might want to look at it before you finalize the plans. These are the two things. Both of these houses are down the hill from Adams Street, and I think there's a pumped septic system, if I'm not mistaken, going up to Adams Street. And if you look at the plans, the sewer lines aren't marked, but there's no indication of what any of the infrastructure is, like where the pumps are, etc. The other thing I noticed was, I think this is a sensitive area with public land on one side and right above the river. I was pleased to see on the plans there was a green dashed line marked 25-foot no disturb zone, but it wasn't labeled, at least on one of the plans. There were two big plans. It was labeled on one and the other. I just would like that to be clear. So that's all I had to say. That was what I noticed on the plans. I do remember being in there with Mr. Wild. I forget when it was. It was warm weather, but there wasn't a second house there then, right? Isn't that correct? Hadn't been built yet?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I understand it, and look forward to seeing you next year.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments, questions? So then, is there a motion to extend the order of conditions for a period of 1 year?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Thanks, Tom. And Charlie, I heard you too as well. Any discussion? Hearing, seeing no hands raised. Oh, Wendy, hi. Can you introduce yourself because we missed for the introduction?
Yes, hi, I'm Wendy Garpo, one of the commissioners. I was actually here, John. I was logging in from my phone, so I could hear what was happening.
Oh, good. Then you're in a position to vote then as well. So
Yes.
there's been a motion to extend for a period of 1 year, and it's been seconded. So hearing no discussion, we'll go right across the top. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Charlie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ingrid, how do you vote? You're on mute, Ingrid.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Arthur, how do you vote?
Yes.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. Second motion is to put this on the agenda for a site walk. And this is kind of a holding date because it's actually the date of our regular meeting. But as we get closer to April 14th of 2026, we can adjust it to an otherwise scheduled site visit. And JD, for your purposes, we typically meet at 8:30 on a Saturday morning. which one would be when the site visit takes place. But for holding purposes, is there a motion to put this on the agenda just so we can track this case on April 14th, 2026?
I'll move that.
Thanks, Tom. Is there a second for that?
Second.
Thanks, Charlie. All right, any discussion? Hearing none. I didn't hear anything, right? Okay, all right. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Ingrid?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. That's unanimous. All right, so I think we're set. You've got your 1-year extension and we're on for April 14th. And we'll be in touch with you, or at least Phil Driscoll will be in touch with you, Mr. Wild, as we approach April for the site walk, okay?
Sure. I put a note in my calendar as well, so thank you very much.
Perfect, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks, you too. Now I'm looking, I don't see Marina. Am I missing her? Philip or Steve, just make sure you tell me when she arrives,
Sure.
because as a department head, we generally we will put her to the head of the list. So going back to our agenda, we've now done 3 and 4. And so we now go to number 5, which is Certificate of Compliance, Wollaston Golf Course. Kelly, I see you present.
Yes.
Mr. Grandin has already introduced himself to us, so we're ready to go.
Okay. Thank you. So we're here this evening to request a certificate of compliance for Order of Conditions 460457. It was issued in 2013, and it allowed for improvements on the golf course, removal of some existing paved cart path and relocation of gravel cart path at the 2nd hole, extension of cart path at the 8th hole using pervious pavement, addition of 2 tees, an extension of an existing cart path at the 11th hole, extension of the existing cart path using pervious pavement, removal of diseased white pine trees, and construction of a bridge at the 12th hole, as well as a tee, and burial of 900 feet of existing above ground utilities. There were trees proposed for mitigation for tree removal and a 550 square foot replicated wetland area planted with native vegetation and shrubs to mitigate for the 544 square feet of turf BVW converted to a gravel cart path. Many of you were on the commission at the time and probably remember that this order was appealed by a neighbor on September 11th of 2013, and it was amended several times under both the Wetlands Protection Act and the Milton Town Bylaw. And so in the package that we gave to you, I gave you all the orders and all the amendments, so it's really thick. But DEP issued their superseding order in August of 2014, and after which the project was approved under the bylaw only 3 more times, and they all had to do with trees and mitigation. The final amendment was issued in December of 2019 and allowed for modifications of tree locations and types, and it permitted the club to pay $22,000 in lieu of planting 44 trees. So as part of this request for certificate of compliance, we provided you with the check in that amount. Some of the work that was proposed was not undertaken. The burial of the utilities was not done. And then the rest of the work, I think we probably can see on the as-builts. Can I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, Steve, you've got that open,
Excuse me.
right?
Oh, if Steve's got it open, that's great.
I think it is. Let me know if you can.
Okay, Steve, am I supposed to be sharing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm sending you a request. It says, let's see.
I am allowing you now. There we
Okay.
go.
Okay, let's see. Okay, can you all see that now?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the as-built. This is the 12th hole. So This was a new T that was installed. There were a number of trees removed in this location, and there's some mitigation plantings here of Atlantic cedars. This is the area here, which was pervious pavement. You can see that underneath it is kind of a fine line, and the this cart path varies in location by a small amount as you go along here. These areas in orange are compensatory flood storage. One of the differences that occurred is we filled less floodplain than was anticipated in the plans, and we also provided more compensatory flood storage than was provided for on the plans. If we go down to the work in the resource and buffer areas is listed here, what was approved and what was in the as-built. If we look at this one right here, which is hole 11 as-built, the intention was that there would be a cart path that went all along here. That cart path was not constructed. This is a bunker that was proposed. The bunker is a few feet to the west than what it was proposed, and it's larger than what it was proposed here. We are outside of the wetland. At this location, we are in the buffer zone. If we go to this one, which is the back tee on the 11th hole, this is the driveway. And if you continued, you'd go to the maintenance facility here, and you'd kind of go up the hill to the cart path at this location. This is the new tee that was constructed, and there was a curtain drain that was required by the commission that was installed at this location. On the left side here of the access driveway, there was supposed to be a T and some stairs. Those were not constructed. This is the 8th hole. It's pervious pavement. This is the location of the cart path, and you can see it varies by a very small amount here and in this area than what it was actually proposed.
Kelly, what's the variance?
On the 8th hole, the variance is that it was supposed to be 8 feet wide, and it's 6.8 feet wide here. And it shifted over about 6 feet here to the west. As we go in this area, there's essentially no variance. And then it pulls a little further away from the wetland right here. You can see it was supposed to be at this location. And it's 6.6 feet wide here. The as-built area is 1,600 square feet, and the proposed area of pavement was 1,900 square feet. So we've got a little bit less pervious pavement than what we had proposed in the plan.
Thank you.
This is the 2nd hole. So this is an as-built of the gravel cart path, 712 square feet here. The as-built pavement cart path removed was 386 square feet. And the area that we had proposed to remove was slightly larger. Let me blow this up a little bit. And I think it came down to where the cut in the cart path was made and the angle that cart path was made. So the cart path here is, the approved location was 692 square feet. The as-built is 712 square feet. And the area that was removed here is 386 square feet. You can see that it used to go kind of to the left here, and it goes straight now. So that's the variation on that one.
So what's the net increase there? I know you said 712, but is that minus? I see an overlap there, so it's not minus the full 300 and whatever.
No, So the approved alteration in the 100-foot buffer was 452 square feet, and we built 434. The approved alteration in BVW was 544 square feet, and we built 576.
So you're over by,
We are
30 or
over
so?
by 32 square feet.
Okay.
We had proposed to remove 396 square feet of impervious, and we removed 386 square feet of impervious. So that was 10 square feet. And like I said, we think that it has to do with the angle of how this was cut. Because these are very small amounts.
Understood. Go ahead.
So the other thing I just wanted to show you is these are some of the mitigation plantings. These are the 2 pin oaks that were planted on the 13th hole. And these photos are from September of 2025. These are the Atlantic white cedars. There are 50 of them here. The ones,
Excuse me, but there's not 50 in that picture. There's maybe, looks like 10.
so what happens is they go around here and then they go back here. So if we took the picture that far back to show all 50 of them, it was very hard to see since the tree backdrop is there. But I assumed that you would want to do a site visit, and they're all flagged in the field.
Good. Yeah, I would like to visit. Thank you.
So if we blow it up a little bit, I think you can probably see the red flags here. I know that there's one there.
Is that an upland area where they're planted?
Yes, it is. So the ones that are here look pretty good. There's one here that looks less good. You can see it. Where they're getting sun, they're doing well. Where the other trees are kind of encroaching, they're doing less well.
It's very rare for them to occur outside of a wetland in nature. So I'm curious about whether they will, even if they're pampered, they will do well in a dry site.
So they were, the original plan was to plant arborvitaes there, and based on some discussion with the commission, the thought was that arborvitaes is not a particularly native species, and that might not be the best choice. So they became Atlantic white cedars.
Well, I wish them well, and we'll get a good look because they've been in it for a while, right?
They have.
Yeah.
And this is the wetland replication area. You can see that there are flags here in the and stakes that show you where the wetland flags were. So you'll be able to look at that. The replication area looks really good. There's a lot of diversity. It's quite dense, but there were 15 shrubs that were required to be planted, and all 15 were planted. There are 10 remaining at this point. They're the winterberries that have survived. We think that the others, this was an area that was heavily inundated in June. There was a lot of rain, and there were some beaver issues that affected the golf course significantly. So they lost 5 of the shrubs during that event. So between the deer browsing and that flooding. But I think that the wetlands consultant, Paul McManus, came out and looked at it. Steve had an opportunity to look at it. It looks great. The club has done a remarkable job at making sure that there's no Phragmites in this area, because Phragmites is very, very prevalent as you get into the woods here. So that's one of the other exceptions that we noted on the plans and in the document, is that we are 5 shrubs short at this location.
Kelly, I lost my internet connection for a while, so I lost part of what you said. And I think you just answered the question, but I had a question on page 5 of your report. And And I think that's what you were just talking about when I came back in, because you said that you planted 15 shrubs and 10 of them did not survive.
No, 10 of them did survive. 5 of them did
Yeah.
not survive.
Okay.
So the winterberry, which is kind of woody and hardy, did well. The others didn't make it in that pretty significant flood period that they had in June of this year.
Do you remember what the other ones were?
I can tell you from the original plants. Hold on.
Beavers will not only drown shrubs, but they'll eat them too.
Well, I don't know. Someone else will have to tell me if the beavers were actually present here. I did a site visit right after the water receded. Maybe Charles can help with that, whether the beavers were actually physically here. And Charles, if you want to comment on that, I'll take a look at what the other plants were.
Tom, Martha, I haven't seen them go after wild blueberries. Have you?
They like alder.
If we, once we get to the site visit, you'll see that there is a number of trees that the beavers went after in that area along the bridge. So they were pretty active in Russell's Pond and up and down the stream leading into Pine Tree Brook.
Any particular varieties?
They weren't really very selective.
Okay.
They were just active.
Right.
Is that Pine Tree Brook on the first plan we saw? There seemed to be a large wetland feeding the pond, but there wasn't any stream indicated in it. Was that where Pine Tree Brook comes through or not?
I will go back and
No, it's not.
Yeah, I
think
couldn't
that was
tell.
Russell Pond.
Yeah,
But-
that's
Right.
it's nowhere near. Pond.
Yeah, this right here is Russell Pond.
Okay. Route 28, Pine Tree Brook goes under it and into the golf course. And it enters Russell Pond, doesn't it?
There's water that goes under Randolph Avenue, yes.
But I
I'm not
don't-
sure that's Pine Tree Brook.
I don't know either. I can
It's
tell
the
you
one
how
that
the water
starts-
flows.
It starts at the Blue Hills Reservoir, and it's the longest tributary of Pine Tree Brook. Whether you think Pine Tree Brook goes to Hillside Pond or the Blue Hills Reservoir is sort of a matter of preference. But yeah, there's a considerable watershed on the east side of Route 28 that goes under the road there and into the golf course. And I
There's
think-
two culverts right here. And 28 is just up here on off of my plan.
Yeah, we're
We don't see you,
anymore.
Kelly. You're not screen sharing at this
Thank you.
time.
Sorry, John. Here's the original plans. And these might give you a better orientation if I can just,
Yeah, that one on top is a large scale.
yep. There we go. So this is Russell Pond. This is Randolph Avenue.
Right.
And so this is the driveway into the golf course. So the bridge area is where the bridge was constructed is right here.
And you do show a stream channel there, don't you?
There's water that comes in here underneath Randolph Ave.
Right.
And then there's a culvert that goes into the pond at this location. And then the water leaves the pond through a dammed area underneath the driveway and
Yes.
goes down through here.
Right. I would call that Pine Tree Brook because that is main stream that comes under Route 28, I think. There might be another one, but that carries most of it. And that is a stream by which Russell Pond got half full of Quarry Hill sediment, if you remember.
Absolutely. You
remember.
can,
Yeah.
you can still see that delta right there.
Yeah. All right. That was my question. I think the first plan you showed us didn't show the stream channel. And I didn't know that the stream actually gets into the pond via paired culverts. I thought maybe there was an open channel, but there's not, I guess.
Those culverts have been there a long time.
Yeah.
All right, I've got two questions, and it goes back to the survival rate that I noted, and I had it backwards. 5 died as opposed to 10 died, but it's 2/3. So my question is this, and I don't know the answer. The state guidance is 75% survival after 2 growing seasons. But I don't know if that's, we apply that usually to our landscape plans that we see. And so there are 2 questions I've got here. Does that apply to replication area as well as what I would call a landscape plan? And then the second question is the survival rate for all plantings, or is it just for what the plan calls for? Like in this case, it called for 15 shrubs. And I know the picture shows that there's a lot of growth there.
So I discussed this with Paul, and in his memo that he provided, he notes that we exceed the requirements under the Wetlands Protection Act. But this is this is a little bit unusual because we're asking you for a certificate of compliance under the bylaw, and we're asking DEP for a certificate of compliance under the superseding order, because this project had kind of that long and storied history of the neighbor.
Yes. The neighbor.
So of the neighbor. Paul feels like there's no question that under the Wetlands Protection Act, this wetland exceeds the requirements. And I guess
it exceeds it how? Because 2/3 survival isn't high enough. But so what is he counting towards survivability?
All of the other plants that and vegetation that's there. So he says it has generally good cover by wetland species. There are 10 planted winterberries. Those were the shrubs that were at least 3 to 4 feet in height with significant branching and fruiting. The winterberry shrubs appear to be healthy. There's a dense and diverse herbaceous plant community in the replication area, which includes the following species: jewelweed, Joe Pye weed, sensitive fern, American burnweed on the upper edge, straw-colored flat sedge, boneset, purple stem beggar ticks, and fox sedge. And then he also notes that immediately west of the replication area is an area of several hundred square feet, which has an herbaceous plant community that includes wet meadow species, and which the club has committed at this point to only mowing once a year. The wetland species, and I'm reading from Paul's notes, the wetland species likely colonized the area when water levels were temporarily elevated by the beaver dam. Nevertheless, the area is a transitional wet meadow community, and golf course personnel indicated that they would restrict mowing in this area to an autumn cutting to promote meadow development bordering the replication area. So as he says, based on my field observations, it's my opinion that the wetland replication area construction has resulted in the establishment of successful BVW replication with appropriate soils, hydrology, and a plant community that exceeds the requirements of 310 CMR 10.554B6. At least 75% of the surface of the replacement area shall be reestablished with indigenous wetland plant species. This conclusion acknowledges that the shrub plantings differ from the replication protocol, but in my opinion, the shrubs in place provide for cover, structure, and wildlife food that meets or exceeds that was which proposed.
All right, I understand that that's what he said. I just want to make sure that the commission members address that in their thought process. Because we oftentimes are dealing with not a replication area, but we simply have planting plants. And we require 75% survival rate after 2 growing seasons. and we count the trees that are in the landscape plan and then, do our percentages based off of that, as opposed to any wetland species that's growing there. I'm not arguing against it. I'm just presenting it as an issue that I request that people think about. Wendy, I'm looking
And
at
this is Steve.
Yes.
I agree with Paul entirely. He makes a very good point, and he's got a lot of species there that you wouldn't necessarily plant. A lot of those herbaceous species came in on their own with the seed bank that's on the site, which is a very good thing.
All right. Now, my only reason for bringing it up, again, Steve, I'll have to reiterate, I'm not arguing against Paul's position. What I'm suggesting is that it's food for thought for us, because oftentimes we're not in a replication area. And
Right.
we have planting plans that will say, I'll just make up a number, 10 trees, and 5 of them die, so it's only 50% survival rate. Is a person going to come back and say, well, look at this grass growing where the trees died? Does the grass that's growing where the trees died, does that constitute some kind of a growth?
If it's a wetland species, sure.
All right, lots of times we do this in upland areas, so that's why I use the example of just plain old-fashioned grass.
Right.
Okay, it's food for thought, and the pictures show that it seemed to be a well-established replication area. I'm just
Indeed.
finding this issue that we may have to address it later on under different circumstances as to what are we applying the survivability rate to? Is it the landscape plan, or is it simply growth? In this case, wetland species, which I'm happy to see it.
Right.
Okay, just
Interpretation,
what's
Mr.
that?
Chairman,
Yes.
was that it was growth.
I'm sorry?
My interpretation was it was growth within the landscape plan, the survivability of the bushes.
And the herbaceous author.
Well, I don't know. Is Arthur adding the "and" or not? Because if I heard Arthur correctly, if there were 15 bushes to be planted or shrubs, and 5 of them died, that means it's 2/3 survived, not 75%. So the issue is that, as presented by Paul McCannis, is that, well, that doesn't matter because that's not the percentage you're looking at. You're looking at to see whether or not the herbaceous cover, and in this case, they're wetland species, did that basically cover the entirety, and not simply 75%. It's 75% of what? That's the issue. And again,
I think I hear you, John. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying there's 2 standards: the one that we have applied to landscape plans, and there's another one that's written into the regulations that refers to the success of wetland replication. And the second one focuses on vegetation rather than trees per se. So I think what you're saying to me is, let's be aware of what standard we're applying and where.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I think I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you finished, Kelly?
Yes.
All right, because I think I heard I don't know if Steve recommended or Tom did, but a site walk, is that appropriate in this case? See, somebody's going to say yes or no.
Yeah. Well, how can we issue a certificate of compliance unless we have seen whether the compliance happened?
Perfect. Then you favor a site walk. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, and do others favor a site walk as well? And if so, when can we set it up?
My answer is yes.
Yes to both. All right. So let's take a look at our calendars and let's look at the next 4 Saturdays. And the only thing that we have to worry about, it's a public meeting, so we just have to give Philip enough time to announce it. And how about this Saturday? The date of which is what?
18th.
18th?
I'm good.
Tom, you good?
Sorry, it's the 19th. I made a mistake. Wait a minute. No, it's the 18th. Sorry.
18th, good, okay. So Tom's good. Arthur, are you good?
Problematic.
Okay. How about the next week? Tom, which would be what, the 25th?
I can do that.
Arthur, can you do the 25th?
In the morning.
Charlie?
Yeah,
Wendy?
I cannot, but I also, I'm going to be out of town, but I also wanted to draw attention to the commissioners that that's MACC's conference, in case anyone was planning on attending it.
Okay. I don't know if that changes Tom, Arthur, Charlie. It does. I was not
Not for me.
intending on going to the conference. What's that?
doesn't affect me.
Okay.
I can't make it.
You cannot make it?
I cannot make the Concom meeting. I mean, the MAC meeting.
Okay. All right. But you can still do the morning for us.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
available in the morning.
I
That
just
leaves
want to
you.
say I cannot make it because I have a wedding.
A
But-
wedding? You think that you're going to use a wedding?
That's my excuse.
Come on.
In Connecticut.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I could bring you the invite if you needed me to, but so if I told Charles this before, so I'm just going to tell you ahead of time that if that's the time that you choose, I will not be able to be there.
Okay. What's the next
The
Saturday?
first.
The
My
first of
next
November.
open Saturday is November 8th, John, if that helps.
Wait a minute. How do we get from the 25th to the?
I was just saying that I'm not open again until November 8th,
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay.
just so that you know.
Okay. Tom, November 8th?
Yeah, but how many do we have for the 18th?
Think I can do the 18th,
Okay.
October 18th, this coming.
Yes, we have a quorum on the 18th then with Ingrid. Wendy, you said no. Charlie said yes. Arthur,
I can't.
18th? You cannot. Okay. Tom and me. So we've got a quorum. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So rather than kicking this out forever, unless somebody objects, let's set it for the 18th.
At 8 a.m.?
Doesn't matter to me.
Good.
I have to be careful.
The earlier
Wendy,
the better.
Wendy, are you going or not going?
I'm not going. No.
Okay, so we can make it 8.
8
We'll make it
o'clock.
8.
6 a.m. would work great.
It's dark. It's dark.
I'm sorry.
It's called retribution.
Yeah.
John,
All right.
do we expect another site walk or no?
Yes and no. We may have something else on the agenda, but we won't have to go anywhere. We can do it right there and it won't be lengthy. I'll bring it up under additional business, but
I see.
we don't have to go anywhere. It's just another agenda item.
Okay, and you say it'll be rather quick?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Are we 8 or 8:30 for the 18th?
8?
8 o'clock is
Okay.
good.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right. So we'll see you at 8 o'clock this coming Saturday, the 18th. And Philip, you've got to get that notice out very
I'll do
quickly.
it tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning.
Perfect. That's good.
And John, remember the sun will be just coming up.
How do you know that?
No, it won't be. It'll
At 8
be up for
o'clock?
like half an hour.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right.
And where exactly are we to meet?
I think we could meet at the grounds building.
That's good. And we get this
Yeah.
place to park our car at the grounds building, right?
There's not,
Yes.
there's
Oh.
not a lot of parking at the grounds building.
Yeah, on Saturday mornings though, it's fairly
Is
light.
it okay?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's very light. We
Okay.
have a light crew on Saturday morning. And
Perfect.
we'll have carts there.
Oh, great. Thanks, Charles.
Yep.
Very good.
Good.
All right. We'll see you Saturday morning. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Next on the agenda is.
Marina has arrived.
Aha. All right. We'll go back to number 1 on the agenda then. Thank you for Marina where are you? There you are. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Can you all hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. So let me make sure that I can share my screen. If I may, I'll be speaking. I believe that the first item on the agenda is the Granite Ave Pump Station resiliency project, correct?
It's number 2, but you can begin wherever you want.
Oh, so we'll talk about number 1, which is the beaver dam removal at upstream of the dam. It's the
Yes.
proposed beaver removal at Pine Tree Brook located upstream of Pine Tree Brook Dam. Let me see if I can share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Share. Can you see my shared screen?
Yes.
Yes, we
All right.
can. That's it. Thank you.
So the Harlan Street Dam, just to kind of give you a little bit of background, it's a structure built by the USDA and the SCS in the 1960s. The town is required to do periodic maintenance to work and maintains the surrounding berm and streamways. The structure is stemming from floods that have occurred downstream of Pine Tree Brook around the near Pine Tree Brook by the high school in the 50s. Destructive floodings destroyed a lot of properties and made a lot of damage over historically. So that's why this large structure, which is currently located at near the intersection of Unquity and Harlan Street, it allows the land behind it to function as a detention basin and let the water out slowly during a storm, not to create flooding downstream. Currently, there is a beaver dam that is shown here in this yellow area. It's currently creates a level that the water is retained behind this dam 2 feet higher than usual. And this is really taking capacity during a storm event, because if it already is holding holding an additional 2 feet of water during crucial storm events, that capacity is already taken by ponding due to the dam not allowing for additional water to be retained behind. The town of Milton DPW received an emergency email. I believe it was around the spring of this year, notified by the DCR uh, about this dam. This dam is being, I cannot say for certain. Beavers have been known to sometimes construct these dams rather quickly, but we suspect that they have been, it's been being built for over just about around a year. We, to also provide you a little bit of feedback, the DPW then connected with the town health department and request special permission to trap those beavers during this past summer. Those beavers were trapped, and now we move on to phase 2, which is once the beavers have now been taken out away from the area. We are requesting permission to dissolve this dam in a safely manner, in a way that it will not impose any threats to the environment, knowing the restriction in this area. So I'm here in requesting that permission. We found a company called Wildlife Nuance. They were the ones that did the beaver trapping for us. We also requested their means and methods for which they are proposing for us to remove the dam in a safely manner. And these were proposed in a write-up. Basically, they would create 1 or 3 6-inch breaches in the 150 feet wide dam to allow a very slow and controlled flow of water from the upstream area of the dam. A 4-inch drainage pipe would be laid to secure the breach throughout that period. The water levels will be monitored over the next few days, and then the pipe will be removed, and we will proceed to the next small breach. The removal of the 150 feet dam in small sections, talking about 5 foot to 10 feet at a time, minimizes potential for a surge of water, debris, and sediments downstream, creating havoc downstream. The dam materials, including the sticks, the weeds, and vegetation, which is what makes up that dam, will be collected, piled on shore, and removed. Currently, we already have access to a portion of that location because that's what we weed whack with. That dam is required to be weed whacked and maintained, as I mentioned before. So this wouldn't be a new access to the area as it currently stands. And again, the note is the slow and controlled release of the water, reducing effects downstream, preventing damage downstream, minimizing sediment release and wash downstream. And also, this is a good time of the year to do this, as the fish, reptile, and amphibians' eggs would be least affected. It's estimated that it would take about 30 days from start to finish, about 1 week of getting the water levels down, and about 3 weeks of slow dam removal. They would be on site approximately 2 to 3 days a week doing the fully removal of the dam. It's a 1 or 2 person crew with basically small hand tools and a kayak at one point. At one point, they would have to access the water in a kayak. Our plan is to start this work within 2 weeks after approval by this commission. So with that being said, I will turn it back to you all. I want to apologize beforehand. I always have someone more knowledgeable than I am when presenting to this board, and it's my first time presenting it myself. So I apologize if I missed any important information.
Marina, I don't believe you missed anything. Thank you very much for your very articulate presentation. And I have a question for you. And I recognize that this is a notice of intent with a very specific and focused job at hand. And I also appreciate the fact that in your narrative, you're trying to prevent a surge of water because you're concerned with sedimentation downstream. So if I can just put that aside and give you some information that I think it was in September, or it could have been at our August meeting. One of the citizens of Milton
Perfect.
came in and told us about some problems with the culvert, both under Holland Street and also under Unquity Road, and suggested that someone, and the someone was a question mark, whether or not it's DCR, whether it's the town of Milton. I know there are different agencies involved, but brought up the question about, do those culverts need some work on them at this time to help control the water flow from this exact same dam? I mean, our dam, the People Dam, not the Beaver Dam. So my question is, would this be an appropriate time to look at the downstream culvert while the Beaver Dam is being taken down and the water is being released? Should we or somebody, and maybe it's, I don't know if it's DCR or not, but can we coordinate this?
So, yeah, so I'm gonna pull up an aerial view of the area you're talking about, and then I'll try to share my view again and share with all folks that might not be familiar with both the upstream and downstream locations, because there are different issues, different ownership for both the upstream and downstream. So just bear with me as I share the screen once again.
Sure.
All right, so back to where I was showing you. Here is the dam. Our Beaver Dam work would be located right over here. There is a culvert located on Harlan Street. A portion of the driver, the biggest driver as to why we were doing this work, removing the dam, removing the beaver, is because of the excessive flooding on Harlan Street. The road gets washed out on a yearly basis. I've only been ahead of the DPW for about 10 months. It's been washed out twice from the last 10 months that I almost very close to 11 months that I've been here.
Don't you mean overflowed? Overflowed, because washed out means the road gets removed.
A portion of the road, Mr. Palmer, just we have to maintain the road. We have to close the road so cars do not access it because the road is not visible at all. And we fear that folks can just not be driving on a roadway. It did not get
it's underwater. I agree.
Yes, it did not get fully 100% washed out. You're right. It's just portion of the roads need repair, like the potholes and the side edges of it do get taken away a bit. There is a culvert underneath of Harlan. The town of Milton maintains that. The DPW maintains. We clean it. We again on a yearly basis. We do post storm inspections every time. So basically, this week we are in post storm mode. Someone will be out there making sure that it's clear. But the levels are visibly higher than they have been in the past. There is an ongoing shovel-ready project for this culvert that was part of a 2 years ago. The DPW designed improvements to this culvert That project is on the shelf. We will not bring it to the Conservation Commission. It will require NOI, but there isn't a clear path of funding. We had issues with funding this past year or so when the town was not MBTA compliant, so we couldn't submit to some projects that we thought would be this would be a good candidate. We are now MBTA compliant, so we are now looking at some funding mechanism that could help the town improve this culvert. If that's the culvert you're mentioning it, Mr. Chairman. If not, there is also, as you can see, the pine tree continues down this way. But once it goes under this culvert here on Unquity, that is no longer the town of Milton. We did try to partner, it is DCR land. We did try to partner with the DCR, which, you know, ironically enough, they were the ones that notified us about our big beaver issue. We asked them if they would have the means and methods to kind of continue to make improvements along with us, knowing that this needed to be a combined project. We would take care of our portion, knowing that that water would need to flow then downstream to their portion. They, unfortunately, because of funding mechanisms and because of timing with their contractors and all sorts of other things, they did not make the required steps to be right now at the point where they would be removing debris. However, with that being said, they are well aware that I'm here today requesting this request from you, and they know that that water will be flowing towards their section on Pine Tree Brook. So again, different ownerships. We got DCR land on this side. We got town of Milton to a portion over here, and then further upstream encroaches in your previous applicant, the Wollaston Golf Club.
Understood. And I had, for the benefit of the other commission members, I had an opportunity last, I don't know, June or July or sometime. We actually met on site. And Marina was present, as were the DCR folks. And we met actually right in the area that we're looking at right now, adjacent to where it says Unquity Road, and looked at the dam there, and we were looking for alternative means of getting the water level down without trapping the beavers. But and Marina was very proactive and went out and sought advice from the two entities that I know from the MACC, the Beaver Solutions, and there's another company that's involved. But apparently the experts said that the beaver deceiver technique would not work given the layout of this land and the water and the length of I guess the length of the dam was pretty significant. And so that's why they ended up getting the permit from the Board of Health, because DCR was convinced that we can't fix it without trapping the beavers. But at this juncture, it just seems like I'd love to be able to get back to DCR and ask them to take advantage of our work, that is the town's work, and use that opportunity to clean out the culvert between, you know, as you head downstream towards the Canton Avenue Dam. But
you're right. They have been maintaining the Pine Tree Brook here, the culvert. There are some pinch points located due to their own beaver issues. Just a reminder that the beaver trapping, the reason why we needed to do beaver trapping special permission with the Board of Health is because we were outside of the beaver trapping timeline. So starting November 15th, if I'm not incorrect, starting November 15th, it's beaver trapping season, and you do not need special permit for trapping a beaver. That is my understanding. But again, I could be wrong. I can go back to this board with clarification on that. But with that being said, the DPW can very well write a letter reinforcing the those at the DCR. We've been in communication with them that this is happening and that they should be clearing their portion, as we'll see all that water stream downstream.
But that would be helpful. Maybe it's overly optimistic that they would suddenly find the money to do it and the personnel to do it, but it seems like an opportunity for them to coordinate their work with your work. All right, other questions from commission members of
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My question is, the people are actually going to be removing the dam. Are those the town employees?
No, it's the same company that trapped the beavers. They're called hold on a second. They're called Wildlife Nuance. I had a really hard time finding the special in the licensed folks to do this work. They're very specialized in it, and they work a lot by region. And these were the folks that the DCR had recommended over. And then the folks that the DCR recommended couldn't do the work. They recommended this company instead.
I hear you. I was concerned about that in part because I thought they were going to have to use some kind of motorized equipment or heavy equipment to remove the dam. And I was concerned that that might do more damage than the benefit of removing the dam. I never tried to remove a beaver dam myself. Don't know how hard it is. Don't know how you would do it with hand tools. It's intriguing, the plan that's described, because they say they will make breaches 6 inches wide. I wonder how you do that, what tools you use. When they make those breaches, then they'll put pipes down at the bottom. That seems to be very shrewd because they lower the water level before they try to get at the dam. But at any rate, most of the dam is in wetlands, and we're supposed to condition any work in wetlands so that the public interests aren't harmed in the wetlands. And I'm just a little sensitive about the amount of work actually going on in the wetland. And my initial thought was, suppose we just say, okay, you can remove the ends of the dam that are at the upland edges where they're easy to get at, like at the berm on Unquity, and on the other side off Harlan Street, there's a little upland you can walk in on. And if you were to remove either end of the dam, then hopefully it would drain out, like is the point of the whole exercise. But you would get that advantage without having to muck around in the wetland and drag stuff around and take it out and so forth, which is more difficult to do, I think. And I would just mention in that regard, I did look at the form you filled out, and on that form, you're supposed to say how many square feet of wetland resource areas you're impacting. And in that form, the box for bordering vegetated wetland wasn't checked, I don't think. So it just seems to me, because this is a job in the wetland, it's our responsibility to try to see it's done with the least impact on the wetland. I'm not against it conceptually, but I feel that I don't really understand why the whole dam has to come out. I think it would rot away by itself if the beavers didn't come back. So that's why I'm floating this halfway solution of just getting rid of the ends first.
If you don't mind, I actually had asked the same questions. They're just gonna use shovels. They're just gonna reach portions that they can take they can take it down with shovels through a kayak that they will be used at portions. The reason why they don't target the ends is because those ends are not necessarily the easiest to get out with shovels. So they will find little, opportunistic points within the dam, and they will use a kayak. They will take that debris. They will lower, wait 2-3 days, penetrate it with a 4-inch pipe. All they need to do is penetrate it with a 4-inch pipe. That water will drain. They will, once it's dry, it's easier for them to get it down, and they will move it in that direction. I had the exact same question as to, I think Chairman Kernan was at that location. I wasn't understanding why did we need to remove the beavers to begin with, or why the dam needed to go, and why couldn't we just keep those pipes in place? But beavers are very smart creatures. They will very quickly rebuild that dam if we don't take it out, if we only take portions out of it. And this will be a maintenance project for the DPW moving forward. I believe that the plan is just to keep on top of maintaining that location so that we are not in this predicament comes next year or the year following.
All right, that's helpful, and it does matter to me that the work will be done not very intrusively, in other words, by hand with shovels.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tom, and thanks, Marina, as well. Are there other commissioners that have comments, questions? I can't see everybody here. So, Arthur, your hand is up. Yes, sir.
I was just going to add that as I read Marina's document, one of the thoughts that struck me of supporting the removal of the full dam is Beaver Dam, is the fact that last year we had extraordinary rains, and this is a tremendously sensitive area, watershed area. And I'm not so sure that it wouldn't be to the best advantage of the community as a whole to have that dam out of the way to preclude any significantly adverse conditions that equal that of last year in terms of precipitation, or will be greater than we had last year.
Thanks, Arthur. I can't see others. Marina, you might, if you take your screen sharing down, I think I can see everybody.
Sorry.
Okay. That's great. Are there other commission members that have a question or would like to make a comment? Are there, I can't say abutters because this is a big area, but are there members of the public that would like to ask a question or make a comment?
John, Ned Corcoran, I'm here on behalf of Wallaston Golf Club, which is an abutter to the town conservation land. And if I can share screen quickly, I can. Can we see that?
Not yet. There you go. Now we can see it.
So this is the same area that Marina was showing. Wallaston Golf Course is here. As you saw earlier in their presentation, Pine Tree Brook does flow through the edge of the golf course. It comes into this large wetland and flood storage area that's owned by the town and flows down through the dam that is owned at Harlan and Equity. The Wollaston supported the town's application for the removal of the beavers themselves, and in fact paid the cost of the town for the trapping services because of the damage that was happening back to the golf course associated with the water that was flowing back upland and unable to move downland as a result of the beavers. So another concern that we raised at the Board of Health perspective was that, you know, if this area is not able to drain appropriately in accordance with the dam's function, then you run into some potential issues with septic systems on Ford Ranch Road, Wentworth Farm Road, and up on Harlan Street. Those are problems that we think should be avoided. So we supported wholeheartedly the application to remove the beavers themselves, and Wollaston supports wholeheartedly the application filed by Marina and the town for the removal of the dam itself. It strikes me that if you fail to remove the dam completely, then it will be easy to rebuild. And if beavers are back, they'll rebuild it and create these types of issues going forward. So with respect to that, we would encourage the commission to respond, to vote favorably on the town's application.
Can I just remark something there?
Sure, Tom.
I hear what you're saying, Ned, but aren't we sort of proposing eternal war? We're saying, if you come and you build dams, we will come and get you and we will remove the dams. And if that's going to be our plan going forward, where does it end? Does it end?
Good question, Tom. I certainly don't know the answer to that, but if we don't do everything we can today with the state of things as they exist today, we may certainly make it easier for them to come back.
I hear you.
All right, Roy Chambers, I see your hand raised.
Yeah. Yeah, hi, Roy Chambers here. First, I was down the other end by near where the Uland Rink is, where the Pine Tree Brook goes through that area. And I was there when the DCR removed the dam that was down there right at the Howland Bridge. And they had to bring in a steam shovel, a monstrous steam shovel to remove that dam. Secondly, I'm very familiar with around that the whole dam area there. And I've actually tried to even get down to the brook through all the trees and brush there. And, you know, I couldn't even get down there. I don't know how they're going to ever get down close to that dam. And if that dam is 100 feet long, I'm telling you, using a kayak and shovels, they'll be there for 10 years trying to do that. I can't imagine that they would be able to do that. But I know that whole area around the dam is just totally grown out and congested with all kind of bush. They would have their hands full doing that. Plus, when you get into the brook, you know, I mean, you got to get out of the kayak. And it's probably 3 or 4 feet deep in that area. I can't imagine that they're going to do it with shovels. That would be a task in itself. My comment.
Don't underestimate Marina Fernandez. She'll get it done.
When do they
What I
plan
can
on
say to
starting?
you, what I can say to you is I talked to the expert. He told me he would do it with a shovel and a kayak. He's only going to get paid if he does it with a shovel and a kayak. We put it in the conditions. It's a shovel and kayak operation only. And let's see what he can do, right? It won't cost, but that's what he told me. So I can only believe what you know, he's just not going to get paid if he doesn't do the job. Does that make sense?
Can I ask what were the impacts to the golf course that the beavers caused?
I guess that goes to you, Ned.
Yeah, it's pretty, this spring, there was some pretty preliminary damage that flooding came back up into a couple of fairways. It was overrunning some areas, and there was concern that it would continue to back up if it wasn't treated. And if it isn't treated well, then that damage will become potential an annual problem of maintenance for the club.
Was it caused by this dam we're talking about, or was
Yes.
there some other dam upstream?
No, we believe it's this dam, and if there's another combination of beaver dams further upstream that we're not aware of, they may have contributed, but there's no question that the beavers have contributed. I think that you heard some testimony earlier in the matter involving Wollaston, that there was that there was evidence of damage to trees and other brush caused by beavers on the Wollaston property.
Yeah, they eat wood, and they'll eat whatever they can get their teeth on, I guess. So that's another feature of them. And I'm curious to hear that the dam we're talking about caused the higher water levels, because we heard Marina say that there's a 2-foot hydraulic height. So I would guess that's the height that had to be carried upstream. And it's interesting to me that it reached all the way to the golf course, which is a little bit of a distance there. But it certainly was obvious going up and down Harlan Street all year that the water's been higher on either side. Not by more than 2 feet, but you can certainly observe that because of the dam, water levels in that area are just higher than they have been.
All right, any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I just have one last one, John.
Sure.
When do they plan on starting this?
Marina, can you respond to that?
Yes, I mentioned at the presentation, it would be 2 weeks upon receiving, they would be able to start as soon as 2 weeks upon receiving approval from this commission.
Any
Who
other
will be,
thoughts?
who will be paying for the work?
It would be DPW.
Do you know how much?
I received their quote. I can look it up. Hold on. It's under 10,000.
Okay.
And it is. Look at how gorgeous that is.
Hold on, I can give you the exact.
Any other questions, comments? Members of the public, commission members?
Do you need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Do you have a motion to issue an order of conditions for the town of Milton
I
with the
do.
provisions as described by Ms. Fernandez?
In the proposed scope of work. As
Yes.
submitted for this evening, yes,
That is your motion.
that is correct, sir.
Is there a second to Mr. Doyle's motion?
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bosworth. Any discussion among commission members? Seeing none, hearing none, I'll go just across the screen here. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
I missed it, Tom, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Wendy, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Ingrid?
Yes.
Arthur Doyle?
Yes,
Charlie Bosworth?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. So that's unanimous. Thank you very much, Ms. Fernandez, and all
Thank you.
participants. Next, we go to number 2, Granite Avenue Pump Station Resiliency Project. This is informational only. Ms. Fernandez, could you help us on this one?
Yes, correct. Let me just share my screen again. Trying to open it up. So this project is very exciting project. We got a BRIC grant, which was a great opportunity for our community to really stretch our dollars, right? This is a resiliency project. To those of you that don't know, the Granite Ave pump station is located next to another golf course. Which one is that one?
President's Golf Course.
Yeah, I guess I got a theme going on. 1 second, let me see if I can share my
What does the
screen.
pump station pump? Is it water or sewage?
Sewage.
Sewage.
Okay.
Tom, I don't know if you were on the commission at the time, but we had a site visit at the house immediately next to this pump station, and you have to not blink when you go by it. It's barely visible from the roadway.
Yes, and you're usually going pretty quick by there.
Correct.
Yes, and so this project is interesting because it's a crucial pump station within our town of Milton sewer system. It is within the flood zone, so basically it would create. We are asking for the creation of the generator as well as retention, so that the station, which is all underground, so that's one of the reasons why you wouldn't see it as you're driving by it, other than you would see a chain link fence over here. It is what you see, and there's a little generator here. We've got a dry well and a wet well, 2 pits underground. It collects sewer from this area, discharges into the wet well, and then it pumps into the force main back into our system. As you know, all of our sewer within the town goes to the MWRA. One of the asks is, as you know, a very dangerous road. All of our employees, when they reach it, there is no driveway, so they park. It's very dangerous for them to park. One of the asks is also to have open a driveway for our maintenance vehicles. They go in on a daily basis to access that road. All of these were submitted over to the commission. Again, we're talking about an above ground generator with a quick connect, new chain link fence. The manholes would be raised to a new proposed grade that would be less susceptible to flooding at a flooding event. As we continue to expect, more frequent and higher intensity storms. So that's the sheet number 2. Sheet number 3 also showing grades and elevations, the new bypass connection, and event of that there is a failure. One of the reasons why we actually got this very enticing grant from the government is, hold on a second. One of the reasons why we got this enticing grant from the government is because a catastrophic event to this station would seriously endanger the wetlands in the area. So that's all I have.
Right, Marina, can you tell us what we're looking at here in the diagram that you're screen sharing? Is that
Sure.
a retaining wall, or is it riprap, or both? Between the pump area and the adjacent wetlands.
Yeah. So hold on, let me see which. It's a new retaining wall.
Okay. right.
Let me show you also that you can better take a look. The new retaining wall would be over here,
Got it.
and it allows this new grade to be elevated so that any inundation wouldn't get back into the sewer and the pump station, as well as damage the generator. The existing generator would be it would be relocated to a new concrete pad at a higher elevation than existing. This right here is the area. One of the things that we talked about is to make it a gravel, not a completely impermeable area, which is not currently. So the increased permeable, it would be a new bituminous concrete driveway. That is the area that you're looking over here in darker shaded gray. We talked about at our site visit, just a reminder, one of the discussions was, should we have a French drain, right? And we opted towards not having a French drain because the benefits of collecting and recharging the groundwater for such a small area would outweigh the risks of an event of any oil spill or even a backup for it to go into the groundwater. Rather, we opted towards having a draining mechanism that would send it back to the pump station for the eventual discharge, proper discharge of that runoff.
I understand. And for the commission's benefit, we did have a site walk. I think it was in June. I'm
correct.
Guessing now June, but Sampson and what's the engineering company there? They were there, and the MWRA folks were there.
Yes.
As was Marina and Philip and Steve Ivas was there, and we all met and looked at it very, very close to the wetlands. So that retaining wall and what you see looks like riprap for the elevation change is pretty important because we're very close to the wetlands. A couple of other things by way of construction, they're going to have to bring in some pretty big equipment. And there are overhead lines that they're going to have to lift or disconnect or something to get the boom truck, because a lot of the stuff is going to be dropped vertically into the ground. I think the sewer main is 30 feet down at least, if not more. And when we were looking at the surrounding area, some of the plans that were presented by the engineering company indicated, and this is coming from a combination of DEP, CZM, and there's some study group out of the University of Cornell that project the flooding over the next 50 years. So we've got 2030, 2050, and 2070 projections. And some of that flooding goes all the way up to Hope Avenue, which is, just from my eyeball, it's got to be, I don't know, 30 feet above the elevation here, 20 feet above. It's up the hill from this location. So the flooding they're planning for that because they've got the projections. So this construction, and I think it's about a $30 million, I'm sorry, a $3 million project. I think it's 3.
Yeah, we haven't looked at we haven't finalized the cost. We're finalizing the construction design and doing the permitting process. But yeah, it should be, again, I don't know. I don't have the final cost yet. And we'll do a cost benefit analysis as well. As part of the BRIC grant requirements is that we looked at the cost of doing something in terms of resiliency and not doing something. What would cost the town if we were not going to move forward with this option? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It does to me. Yeah, and the other thing we actually brought up at the site visit is that, in terms of planning, if we're planning out 20, 30, 50 years, we should be cognizant of the fact that in that MBTA Communities Act, one of the designated areas for potential residences was across the street in the area where Heritage Hall is. From Heritage Hall down to the DPW yard, then it becomes state property. But if that land came up for development, there are, at least capacity-wise, a lot of units that could be put in there. And Tom Palmer will be the first one to say, hey, that's a floodplain. So development there would be very difficult. But nevertheless, I just alerted the engineering company at the site walk that if you're looking for capacity of the pump, keep track of what the town could tie into in the future. Because if there are more units going in that area for future development, then you ought to build the capacity, whatever this pump capacity plan is currently. And that's, I'm not suggesting that there should be or there will be any units there, but for planning purposes, let's keep our eyes open.
John, does that mean this project is not simply a replacement project, but the existing facility is being beefed up in some way?
No, it's not. I was the one that suggested be careful what you're building, because if you're going to sink $3 million into this, you better build it for what you anticipate is needed. But no, this is just a replacement, right, Maria?
Yeah, no, this facility is already built. The pumps are already there. Nothing is being done to existing facility other than make it less susceptible to adverse effects related to increased potential flooding events. So basically raising the existing grade for the well entrances, raising the concrete pad for the generator, making it available so if power were to fail at the station, you have a portable generator, a quick connect, an easy way to connect. You have an easy way to connect bypass pumps. So basically, they took the DPW existing bypass pump specifications, and they connected to the bypass, so we can more easily be able to do a bypass pump if that pump station failed. Again, pump station is already there. It's just making those little tweaks related to making our community more resilient and not having catastrophic failure or sewage being spilled all over Granite Ave or onto the wetland areas during a storm event, which
thank you.
I believe no one wants to see that.
And just two other factors to add, Marina. One thing that you mentioned before, the safety factor for accessing and working on the pump is very important because it's a treacherous location for anybody that has to be working there. And second, some of the future floodplain maps have flooding coming up as high as Hope Avenue in that area. So all the more reason to have this work done. It's a very proactive project.
Any other comments from commission members? This is just informational, which we appreciate, Marina, very much. Members of the public, questions, comments? Hearing none, I think we thank you. And we'll look forward to a notice of intent sometime in the future.
Thank you. We are waiting for Mass DOT. The entirety of the station is within a Mass DOT right of way, which neither the town or Mass DOT has records for right of way easement agreements. So we are rectifying that issue with Mass DOT, and hopefully as soon as we hear back from them, we will be in front of this commission with the NOI. And then at that point, I'll bring Weston Sampson to, do their work and do a presentation with more technical information for all of you.
Oh, that's great. And I'm assuming that your communications with Mass DOT is excellent. Hopefully.
It has been, we're working on it. It's very, it's a very it's more legal than anything, John. So probably
Okay.
you'd probably be the best person communicating with them at that point, not me.
We might have to go to the select board for that communication. All right. Well,
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you
night.
very much.
Thank you for your hard work, Marina.
Thank you.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're up to 405. This is number 6 on the agenda, minor modification, Board of Conditions, 405 Blue Hill Avenue. And I think we've got some presenters here, I hope.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hi, I'm
great.
Eslyn Buchanan.
Hi,
Just wanna
good
make
evening.
sure
Thank you for your patience very much.
No problem. I have to say that, been listening to this for hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes. I learned a lot. I mean, I don't know that there was actually a beaver trapping season, and, the fact that you have to go on kayak and shovel to remove the dam. That's amazing. So kudos to all the, the team members, the commissioners, to, all this detail work that you have to listen to. But that's very, very interesting to me, because it's definitely not my forte to, all these details and plans and dam and everything. Anyway, so good evening, everyone. I am here to represent the 405 Blue Hill Avenue. I'm one of the owner for the property. So we got an approval for the order condition back in the end of May. You guys came for the site visit to do some renovation to the property, and now we are asking for a minor modification. So basically, we're looking to add a patio, a 14 by 14 patio at the back of the house. The current plan, the approved plan, we don't have that on the plan, so we're looking to add, and the patio will be constructed by using permeable materials, make sure that we allow rainwater to pass through, and also to minimize runoff. So we're hoping that, hoping that this is a minimal change to the existing approved plan, that we could go ahead and, we just want to make sure that this is something that we could do before we start the project. I mean, I could share the plan that we shared, I have sent over, if you want to look at that.
That would be great, because the copy that we got, it really did strain my eyes, and I do have a question on the location of the patio. But if you could screen share, it would be great.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is the updated plan, and this is where we added the patio at the back of the original design. I mean, if you look here, let me just show you. So I don't know if this is helpful, but this is the rain garden. So I think this is probably better in terms of to look at.
Yeah, that's the one that I was interested in. That
I'm
view
gonna
right
make it
there.
a little bit
That
bigger.
one, yeah.
You could see this is the house, and this is where the patio. We were not going to do this because this is originally was a balcony, but we know the balcony will take more construction work, so we're just going to do it as a basic patio for 14 by 14.
Okay, because that was my question. I remember when we were out there, I knew that the corner of the house, which pre-existed this, which is very important,
Right.
does cut into our 25-foot non-disturbance zone. But the patio, does it have to cut into our 25-foot? It's a very small piece of it.
Yes, I think it'll be a very small piece that will cut through the 25. This is the 25 feet buffer zone.
Does something exist there now?
No. Well, this is the existing foundation which we have built on top, but no, nothing is there now.
All right, because we try to be consistent, and we had somebody at, I know I'm going to mess up the number. I think it's 114 Woodland Avenue. It was John Toomey, and I can't recall his wife's name, but they did a patio very similar at the back of their house, and we asked them to just move it a little bit to keep it out of our 25-foot, because we try to honor that 25-foot non-disturbance zone. And I think what they did is they actually changed the shape of it to actually cut it out. That would help us a lot.
Okay. I think, I mean, as long as, I think we could move, because I believe, let me just look back here. So we have the sliding door here. If we move the patio right really next to the sliding door, we might be able to really, not taking the side of where we have the 25-foot buffer.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it would affect the door.
Yeah.
Assuming that the door is somewhere around that 19.2.
I believe the door will be, because now we have this whole area here. The door will be somewhere here.
Oh, that's easy then, because all we need to be consistent with our 25-foot non-disturbance zone is the patio might not be rectangular, but if you could just keep it out of our 25-foot, I think that would make all of us happy.
Okay. I think we could do that. I mean, I have my business partner on the call as well, Trevon. If you want to add anything, I think we should be able to do that. I mean, we haven't started the work yet, before we get an approval, but we could definitely probably change the design to make sure that we don't, go over that 25-foot buffer zone.
Yeah, even if you're concerned.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Vaughn speaking. Yeah, we could try to change it, maybe make it a little bit smaller or change the shape of it like you suggest to keep out of that 25-foot buffer zone.
That would be great, because we do try to be consistent and uniform in our application of the bylaw. So it would help us to help you. Any other commissioners, want to weigh in on that suggestion? Doesn't sound it. Anybody? I can't tell if I'm frozen.
I did not hear your last comment, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm frozen or others are frozen. Are there any other commissioners that feel that way about the 25-foot non-disturbance zone?
Yes, John, I agree with you. It makes sense
Okay.
to move it out if possible.
Yeah, it looks like an easy fix. And if you needed the space, you can add it either by moving it, laterally, or you could even, add it on top. Just change the shape so we stay out of that 25-foot line.
And John, we've had this with a couple of additional locations beyond the one that you cited as well.
I know. I know.
So,
that's why I mentioned that it's the consistency and uniformity that I think is important for us, that we apply the same rules and regs everywhere.
Agreed.
And as I said, I think it's an easy fix for everybody. Are there any other questions, commissioners, that have questions on this? One of them is to the extent that this is a revision to a modification, to an existing order of conditions, it does require 2 votes. And Trevor and now I've lost.
Esland.
Okay, Esland, there you are. There you are. Okay. No, I didn't lose your name. I lost your face. There you are. It does require 2 votes. The first one would be whether or not it's a minor revision or a major revision. If it's minor, then we can have a second vote and vote to amend the order of conditions. If it's a major change, you'd have to file another order of conditions. That's just the way the system's set up. I'm not suggesting that it's a major change, so don't worry. But we do have to take 2 different votes. So I'd ask for any comments, questions from other commissioners.
John, I'd just like to suggest that we can approve it as a minor change if we condition it that patio shall stay out of the 25-foot zone.
And is that your motion?
Yes.
All right. Is there a second to the motion, which is that it would be a minor revision as long as the drawing is adjusted to keep it out of the 25-foot non-disturbance zone? That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Thanks, Charlie. And remember, this is only to determine whether or not this is a minor revision or a major one. But with that motion, is there any discussion? And I don't hear any, I don't see any, so I'll do what I can see. Charlie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tom Palmer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ingrid, how do you vote?
Yes.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. So that's the first motion. And that is that it's a minor revision. So is there a second motion to approve this minor revision to the existing order of conditions?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Is there a second to Arthur's motion?
I second it, John.
Wendy, thank you very much. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go through the voice vote. Tom Palmer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Wendy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ingrid, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur, how do you vote?
Yes.
Charlie, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. So you've got your minor revision. It's now the order of conditions. The only thing we need from you is to have this plan adjusted so that the patio is outside of the 25-foot non-disturbance zone. Is that something you can do for us?
Yes, no, absolutely.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I think we're good to go.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Eslin.
Eslin, before you leave, can you take that down to the screen sharing? I think you're controlling it. Perfect. Good. Thank you very much. All right, that takes us to number 7 on the list with amended order of conditions 37 Robin Street. And I know that Mr. Hannigan, you've been waiting very patiently, listening to every word that has been spoken.
Getting an education.
You know, we get the education from you, sir. So tell us what you would like
Sometimes.
this evening.
Here tonight for 37 Robin Street with 2 plans. One is a modification plan, update of a modification plan that was discussed in the June meeting. At the present, at that time, I didn't have time to add the existing plant schedule, and that's on there showing the 24 plant locations. And then the second one was John, you had requested that we show the recharge area and the
plan
on the plan. Yeah, so that is done, and I believe looking at the minutes that was approved subject to receive the commission receiving the plan. So if that's the case.
All right, the only other thing, and you've said here in your letter of dated 10/6/25 that this would be a partial certificate of compliance because we haven't had the plants last for 2 growing seasons. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know the mechanics of it, but yes, if that's the case, I thought that what you did is you did a certificate of compliance subject to the extension for a period of time, 2 years, to see the survival of the plantings. So it's up to the commission, whatever you'd like.
Right. I mean, that's what we can do. And I'm just looking at your letter here, and I don't see your attestation, but my memory is that your letter in June did say that. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have the full file in front of me. I don't have Bob's letter, but my memory is that he said that there's substantial compliance because that's what we require for a certificate of compliance. Do you have it there, Philip?
I don't. I can send it
Okay,
around.
no, that's my memory, and Bob, I think you can attest that it's in your June letter to us, correct?
I don't have that in front of me, but I can check, and I believe that was the case. Yeah.
Well, if there's any doubt, you agree that you will file such a letter.
I will indeed. I will indeed. I'll send that over to Philip. So,
All right, good. Any
And
questions?
then
or
I'll send
comments?
it to the commissioners.
very good.
All right, thanks.
I'm looking at this plan, John, and I have a couple of questions. I
Shoot.
guess it's the as-built plan, and on the right side, there's a plant schedule with 24 plants. And on the plan itself, there are some numbers going up to 24. But there are many fewer numbers on the plan than there are on the schedule. I wonder if Bob could.
Sure. Yep. Just to simplify things, on the left-hand side, you can see on the lower left-hand corner, there's number 1. And then
Yes.
on the upper left-hand corner, it's number 13.
Right.
Then you go across the back, it's 14 to 21.
Got
And then
ya.
there's 22, 23, and 24 in the front of the property. So
Well, now it makes sense. I couldn't figure it out, I tell you. I mean, now it's obvious. Okay, I get it. My other question was, when we were talking about the stormwater way back when the project was being built, I think it was specified that there would be a proprietary Cultec chamber buried in the lower right corner of the lot on the plan. Is that correct?
that's correct. Yeah. I searched high up and low down for the actual details of that. I couldn't find anything aside from the proposed. But that said, it's the area is in general as shown, and it's beyond the 200-foot riverfront line. So
Yeah. So the reason you didn't draw in a little circle and say this is the Cultec chamber is what?
because, well, in my mind, number 1, it's beyond the 200-foot riverfront zone. And
But it is an as-built plan, and that was part of the
right.
plan, right?
Right. And that's the general area. And that's what I located. And I can attest that that's there in place. The circle there in the driveway is a recharge area for their basement pumps. And then separately, there's the area for the recharge of the roof runoff.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to revise a plan, but I think you would appreciate why I like a plan to show everything that was built.
Does that require an answer?
Well, that's up to you, but you know, I think
I understand, but that's the area, and it's outside of the 200-foot zone. So,
well, yeah, that doesn't matter to me, I guess. I'm just looking at what I'm looking at, and the plan shows that corner, and I remember there was a Cultec there. So
it was, yes.
Yeah. Overall, you know, your plans are really kind of a pleasure to look at because they're always, I don't know, well organized and easy to read. But I would have written in there, this is where they put the Cultec. So that's my comment.
And Bob, on the jurisdictional side, I mean, we were all present when we saw the foundation filled with water. And we had a discussion about where are you going to put that water?
Right.
So that was a jurisdictional concern that we had because the foundation looked like a swimming pool. And your idea was to put it in the Cultec chamber, and the chamber just happened to end up outside the 200-foot.
No, the Cultec is
inside
for the roof runoff, and the circle there that's shown is for the pump.
Right, and it's outside the 200 feet. But it's a jurisdictional concern that we had, and the remedy for that was to put it outside of the 200 feet, which we don't lose jurisdiction because of that.
Well, I don't think that, quite frankly, that as I recall, it was to put it outside the 200-foot zone. I think that was the best area to recharge.
I agree.
Based on the material.
100%.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I don't think we lost our jurisdiction along the way here, but I think Tom's points are correct, but the fact that you put the circle on there and we knew and know that that's where the pump chamber went to. You were pumping the foundation drain out there. So I'm comfortable that that's sufficient, that you've indicated the location of it. Tom, are you okay with the plan as written?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, suggestions? We've certainly been here a number of times. Charlie, I can't tell if you wanted to talk or not.
Nope, all set.
Okay.
I reviewed the plans. They look adequate.
All right. So the certificate of compliance would be conditional upon 75% survival rate of the trees planted, and that gives out 2 growing seasons. So it is conditional upon that, but with that condition,
Understood.
Is there a motion to issue the certificate of compliance conditioned upon the survival of the trees?
So moved.
Thanks, Tom. Is there a second for that?
Second.
Thanks, Charlie. Any discussion among commission members? Hearing none. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Ingrid?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
And I, John, can vote yes as well. All right, we're good, right? Yes? Bob?
Good? Very good. Always a pleasure. Yep.
All right.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Commission
Thank you
members.
very much.
Yep. Thanks.
All right, next on the agenda is amended or 37 is approved meeting minutes from July 8th, 25, August 12th, 25, and September 9th, 25. And I know there were some requested amendments, and I want to make sure that everybody's, I'm not sure that which we received in our packet has all the amendments. I think that Tom had made some suggested edits, and I think Wendy had made some suggested edits. And I think other than that, are we ready to, not other than that, but is that what we're approving as edited? And I don't know, maybe that question goes to Philip, because there was some communications going by email between and among commission members back to Steve Ivers. And I think Steve actually did some of those edits. I just want everybody to be comfortable that which we are voting on are the edited versions of those motions. So I'll go first to Tom and then to Wendy, but Tom, are you comfortable that which we are voting on contains the edits that you had suggested to Steve?
They were typos, but yeah, they needed to be changed. Phil told me he changed the one I brought up.
Okay, got it. Wendy, you had some edits, and I want to make sure you're comfortable with that which we are voting on contains your proposed edits.
The edits that I had suggested for September 9th were not completely included. There still seems to be some confusion. And I actually, just to try to expedite things, I copied and pasted the text of the section in question and emailed it to everyone, including including the revisions.
Oh, just now, right?
Right.
Yes.
You mean it's on our email? Don't tell me it's on our email screen, because I'll never be able to see it without losing all of you guys.
It is by email. I could.
Well, you know what? You know what's easy? We've got a meeting on Saturday, so I mean, I'd like to read it before I vote for it.
Sure, of course. I think There's two parts that I think are really important to be reflected in the minutes. One, that I voted no on the second proposal. And that
Yeah, that's an easy fix.
that is an easy fix.
I thought that was in the original one as well, but it's an easy fix.
And also at the meeting last month, I had, when we voted on that, I had requested that the minutes reflect why I voted no. So I
That's
added.
correct, you did.
Text.
I
Right.
recall that.
Right. So I tried to minimize the edits to the text, but I think that it is reflected now what I'm proposing.
Maybe I'm missing something. I know that you sent around a copy of what's on our website. Is that what you wanted to be appended to the minutes?
That is something that I suggested be appended to the minutes, and that has been done. But that is different than the two other things that I just mentioned.
All right, well, I acknowledge that you said at the meeting that you wanted the minutes to reflect that A, you voted against the fine, and B, why you voted against that. I agree with that. You did say that. But why would you append the Dear Tree program applicant, which is on our website, as part of the minutes?
I suggested that it be attached to the minutes, not that it be edited, but because I had read it verbatim into at the meeting.
Okay.
So I suggested that that the invitation be included in the minutes, since I had read it verbatim.
All right. It's not usually the purpose of minutes, but everything's recorded. So it's there for eternity, I guess. So I don't have an objection to that. It's just that now I'm not sure what you sent around, that I haven't seen it. Would you mind waiting until Saturday so I can at least read
well,
it?
I'm not going to be at the meeting on Saturday. But I can, how about I
hang on a second. I
share
can find it on my
the
phone.
screen.
I think I can get it on my phone.
You could also open up two windows on your screen.
Now you're challenging me. Hang on, let me see if I can get it on my phone. I don't want to lose you. I've lost you twice tonight already.
If you open a second window, John, and switch to the second window, you won't lose us. You won't see us, but you won't lose us. In fact, if you're speaking, we should still be able to hear you.
I'm looking at your email, Wendy, and some of the text is highlighted in green, and some of it has strike through.
Correct.
So what is the green?
Everything that I did is in green, and if it's got a strike through, then I'm suggesting that is deleted, just for clarity.
Okay. And the stuff that's green with no strike through means those are edits?
Correct. Those are additions.
All right, I understand.
All right. Well, I don't see it on my phone. I can't tell you why, but my phone is only showing me, and I tried the second screen on my computer, and that one didn't work. So I confess to being living in the last century, perhaps. I should be able to split screen. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. 9:10 p.m.
9:09.
Yes, 9:10.
The second vote of the pre-replay. Okay, so I've got it in front of me. I voted no and requested minutes to reflect why. That's true. Could you please replace section 6 with the following? Replace 6. So you rewrote the whole thing?
I just copied and pasted it so that it would be obvious where my additions were. So my additions are in green.
The main thing is really the last line. It's the main addition.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. And you want to, and now you want to attach the website on the tree replacement to the minutes and incorporate that into the minutes?
Yes, which has already been done. At least the copy that was in our packet.
Okay. All right. I'm a consensus kind of person. This really isn't the purpose of minutes under the open meeting law, but if this is what you desire and there's no objection from others, then I can go along with the edits as done. I mean, your position is clear, and if you're trying to make a public or reiterate your public argument, that's fine.
I think it's important to
It
have
is.
documentation of this, so that if in the future we decide to change what the tree replacement cost is, we understand the history of how we came to that decision and what precedence was set for how we came up with that cost. You know, in the same way that I asked you at our previous meetings, well, how did we come to the $500 replacement price that we've had in place? And you had said that it was based on the retail cost of a tree.
Wendy, you are correct. I did say that.
Yeah. So I think it's important that that is documented, because rather than us having to rely on our memories. That's all.
Okay, good. All right. So as amended, let's move this forward. And if it is your desire to append the website to the minutes, then so be it. So let's do it by date. Hang on just a second. I want to make sure we vote in the order that it's listed here. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 8th, 25, August 12th, 25, and September 9th, 25, as amended? And the amendment will be what we just received at 9:10 p.m. tonight. At least I saw it at 9:10 p.m. tonight from Wendy. That's the amended, and that's the version that we're voting on. So,
John,
what's that?
We have to do them separately.
Okay.
Because I was present for the July 8th and the corresponding site walk, but I wasn't present for the August and September. So we have to do the vote separately.
All right, you are correct. I stand corrected. So is there a motion to approve the July 8, 2025 minutes as edited?
So moved.
So moved.
I'll second.
Got it. We'll do a voice vote to go across. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Ingrid?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
And I, John Cannon, vote yes as well. Second motion, is there a motion to approve the August 12th, 2025 minutes as edited?
So moved.
Thanks. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Charlie. Any discussion? Hearing none. How do you vote, Tom?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Ingrid?
I abstain.
Yes, thank you. Wendy?
Yes.
And Charlie?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. Last motion, September 9th, 2025, is a motion to adopt the minutes as revised.
So moved.
Thanks. Second? Wendy, I can't believe you're not going to second this one.
I'm happy to second it. Yeah.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur, how do you
Yes.
vote? Ingrid?
Abstain.
Okay. Wendy?
Yes.
Charlie?
I have to abstain. I wasn't there.
Okay. And I John Kiernan, vote yes as well. Thank you very much. So we get through that one. And next, new business. Steve, any new business?
Just some informational. I had a call from a woman named Pat Donahue, who lives opposite Alfred Road, regarding some heavy equipment work in her backyard to the east of her home. And I went over there on Friday and spoke to, one moment. The person who was doing the work, or who had done the work, evidently. And the person was named Devin Lehous, Lehous. That's the property that goes from the top of the, almost the top of the hill, all the way down to Alfred Road, parallel to Robin Street. Okay, you probably know this grouping. They built a new, I believe what they call is some sort of a selling area along Robin Street. That's very
A what area?
Something to do with a shed to sell products.
Produce, right?
I've never heard of anything being sold there. We're all familiar. We've been on the property a ton of times. It's right in back of Delphi
Right.
Academy. They
This-
did
yes,
a
exactly.
permit
This is
request
a
for a
new-
garden.
Well, they wanted to build a garden there. They did build a garden, but
We
they
permitted it.
lost their shade. So they're planning, their next plan is to maybe try to do some greens. Tomatoes didn't work.
So this is a place
Evidently they,
of Japanese knotweed, right?
yes,
Yeah. Okay. I remember.
that
now.
was the problem.
Mhm.
And they've taken quite a bit of it out, but there's quite a bit still there. In any case, I went through a long description of basically, I would call it rules enforcement for them and process, because they still had the equipment on the site. They were also trying to level a shed that was tilted. So they had done that by the time I got there. In any case, I just wanted to alert you to, they may be coming to us for some more work on that property. And I told them that if they touch the ground on the property, they need to file a permit application. That's all. Just letting you know.
Okay.
So
Why is
next
it
time we go-
jurisdictional?
The jurisdiction is, there's an intermittent stream that runs down the hill, enters a
Okay.
culvert, and then goes to Trout Brook,
Yes.
which is perpendicular to the stream that comes down the hill. And
Gotcha.
evidently there's going to be some building up at the top of the hill at the academy in the near future. That's what I was told.
Well, you know we've spent a lot of time there, Steve. That's the 40B project.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's it. That backs onto their property. And
Yes,
the
it does.
dividing line between the property is that intermittent stream.
That's correct. That's correct. Just wanted to let you know that, they're thinking about doing other things on the property, including taking down
but is there,
some trees and some other things. Yes, taking down trees.
well, is there a
So I
need
just-
for an enforcement order, or are they not doing anything now?
They're not doing anything now. And in fact, what I saw on the site was they didn't take anything down. They were moving, I would call it organic debris around. That's what I would call it. Organic garden debris and sticks and stuff. Nothing worthwhile to do an enforcement order
Okay.
for, in my opinion.
Do you have a
That's all.
street address?
The street address, I believe, is 152.
Alfred?
Robbins.
Okay.
It's a long lot that's parallel to Robbins. One series of lots in to the
Yes,
west.
it's a big L-shaped lot.
That's correct. That's
And
correct.
the southern part is a long arm of the L, and it has the intermittent stream run
That's
down the
right.
middle of it. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yep. And they do have a shed there that they're going to be using to sell products of some sort. Food products, I think. Okay, just to let you know what their plans are.
This was before another board, I believe, this retail produce operation, like the planning
Okay.
board, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, they said they have the permits.
Hmm.
Evidently, they have another operation in Plymouth,
Yes,
which is a pizza joint.
and a bakery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a quite large restaurant, actually.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you stopped there?
Yeah, I used to live in Plymouth. It was one of my favorite places.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
All right. I
Okay.
think
Anything else? New business?
not from me.
All right. I've got one piece of new
I have
business.
some new business too. I'll go after
Oh,
you.
go ahead, Philip.
I have a call. I got a call from a lady on Amor Road. She lives at 85, and she said people next door at 71 took down trees in the wetlands area.
What's the street name again, Philip? I'm sorry. I missed-
Amor, AMOR.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. That's where the
71
40B is.
Amor.
Right at the corner.
Right. She said they took down the trees at 71 Amor, and they were in wetlands.
There are wetlands in back there, according to the state maps.
Well, what's the number of the 40B project? You remember? I should remember it. I don't.
It's the
It's
corner
right at the
of
corner
Amor
of
and Trivet
Brush Hill
Parkway.
Road and Amor. What is it?
Yeah, that was number 16 Amor. So that
Yeah,
was
that
at the
sounds-
other end.
That sounds right. So
These
71 is across the street and of the Blue Hill Avenue side? Okay.
Right, that's right. And there's a big triangular wetland about the size of a house lot that's in the borderland between 85 and 95 Amor, reaching over to the next street. I guess that might be Valentine, 100 Valentine, 88 Valentine. So there's a wooded area behind all the houses that the state maps as a wooded swamp, and it impinges on number 85 and takes about a fourth of the lot. And the person complaining at number 71 also has woods in back, but only the southernmost corner is mapped as wetlands by the DEP. So all I gather from this state mapping is, yes, there are wetlands back there. And yes, if there's cutting back there, it's probably in jurisdiction.
All right, can you check that out, Steve, and
Yes, I'd be happy to.
see if you can stop the cutting in our jurisdiction if it's done, and inform us if they've actually taken some trees out?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
She also has a tree at 71. Excuse me, she'd like to have removed, but it's in the wetlands. She says it's dead. But I told her not to touch it up. They'd be tell you.
All right, so you can check that out at the same time, Steve? That's a question.
Yes.
Can you check that out at the same
I
time?
have contact information, Steve, if you want.
Thank you.
Good news. All right, thanks.
And then I have a third one, sorry. 984 Brook Road. They say there's a dangerous tree in the conservation land there that they say needs to come down.
984, is that Fontbonne
Yeah.
Center Street?
It is.
First house?
Yes.
That is our land. Okay. Do you know if it's accessible from the street? Do you know anything about where the tree is?
I have an email, but I can't find it, and I can send it. I have an email and I have a file on the whole thing, but I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I can send it tomorrow. Sorry.
All right. If you could send it to Steve, if you could check that out, because we do own, in fact, our sign is right there. That's one of our Conservation Commission land signs.
Right.
And if the tree is dead and it's endangering their house, then I know what they're talking about. And that's the situation we had at the intersection of Guile Road and Canton Avenue, because that's our land as well. And we had that first house give us a complaint, and unfortunately, we don't have the resources to take a tree down.
Right.
But we can't offer the services of DPW other than to request a favor. But that's what we did for Guile Road, and DPW did actually remove the tree. So if you could just check it out, Steve, we might be in the same position of asking for the town's assistance. Because we don't want something on our land endangering somebody's home.
And
we did it with
actually,
66.
John, about 4 years ago, I think DPW did cut down a leaning tree on the property in question.
Same one.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That Jerry Burke weighed in on that one. I don't know if you remember that, but yes, I do recall that. That's good. Yeah, DPW has been good to us.
Yes.
Over the years.
Then the 66 Ferncroft they're going to take down soon. That's the one we discussed, I think, at the last meeting.
Correct. And is DPW going to take them down?
They are.
Good. Perfect.
They just need the permission. Like, they know about 984 Brook Road. They just want to make sure it's okay with the Conservation Commission to come down.
Oh yeah, if it's it qualifies as maintenance. If it's a dead, diseased tree that creates a public danger, that's maintenance. So they don't even need a RDA for that. Well, we don't need an RDA for that. It's our land. Okay.
Right.
That's good. Just as long as you confirm that it's dead indeed.
Right.
All right. That's
Steve,
good.
I'll
Thanks.
send information as well.
All right.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, I just have one item of new business, and that is we have a town meeting coming up on the 29th of October, and there are, 8 articles, something like that. But one of the articles is by the school building committee, and they're asking for an extension on the reverter clause on the school swap. That is the land swap to build the new school on Guile Road. So the article, I think it may need to be tweaked a little bit, because I actually don't like the way it's worded. But you may recall that 2023, there was a vote by town meeting to approve the land swap, by which the Conservation Commission received 75 plus acres in exchange for our conveying to the school department 2.8 acres on Guile Road. And I know it was somewhat controversial, not a town meeting necessarily, but I know that a lot of people feel very strongly about it. But nevertheless, it went through. In that article, that was passed in 2023. There was a reverter clause that the school funding had to be achieved by, I forget the date, I think it's April of 2028. Now, at the time, the school building committee and the school committee, and essentially the town, had gone to the School Building Assistance Administration and asked for funding support, which was denied at the time. So it was going to be bonded by the town simply by an override at the time. So they thought they could get it through by 2028. Now, in the last 2 years, the School Building Assistance Administration has changed its position and has agreed to provide some funding for the town. What the percentage is, I can't tell you, but it takes a lot of financial pressure off of the town. But it looks like the lead up to getting School Building Assistance Administration approval is going to go beyond 2028. So the School Building Committee and the School Committee, with the support of the Select Board, is coming in with an article asking to extend the reverter clause until, I think it's 2031.
It's 33, John. I'm looking
33?
at Article 6.
Okay, so it's 33. And that will allow the town to get state funding through the Department of Education, as opposed to putting, and some is going to come back on us anyway, but on a override, but it's going to take a lot of pressure. I don't know what the number of millions of dollars will be, but it's going to take a lot of pressure off the town. So the school department, the school committee, the school building committee, select board are coming and asking for support for this. Now, what's going to happen at town meeting is that we are going to be asked, do we support this article to extend the reverter clause to 2033? Now, what's important here is you understand what the reverter clause actually says, because as originally drafted, the article in 2023 had the swap just reverse itself. So we would lose the 75 acres that we got, a lot of which is open space anyway and protected under our jurisdiction anyway. I get that. But the number of acres that came to the Conservation Commission is 75 plus. The number of acres that we conveyed to the school department is 2.8 acres. So I fought pretty hard that if there's going to be a reverter clause, we're not giving back open space. Lots of reasons. One, it would trigger Article 97 issues for us. That if we're giving it to the town, back to the town for other purposes, then we'd have to replace that 75 acres. And we can't do it because we don't have 75 acres to replace the 75 acres we'd be giving back. So that was the argument I made back in 2023 or 22, leading up to the town meeting in 23. So the reverter clause was revised and limited to the 2.8 acres that would go back to the Conservation Commission. We would not be asked, the reverter clause does not require that we give up anything. In fact, the only thing would we get that 2.8 acres back, and the school department would lose that. So it's more like a clawback to the Conservation Commission. So in my view, and I'll cite to our bylaws, section 9, if you read it, it does talk about considering other public good in the balance of the public interest between and among the different town departments. It's worth taking a look at that section 9 of our bylaws. But my recommendation is that we pass a resolution to support this article that would extend the reverter clause, which will only affect the Guile Road land, that 2.8 acres for us, and would not impact the 75 acres that we received. And that's the land up on on Randolph Avenue. It's the land on School Street. It's the land on Herrick Drive. And it's the land surrounding Pope's Pond. So if you include all of that together, it's about 75 acres. It's not that, but it would extend the period of time that we go to, that we support the school department, the select board, and the school building committee to buy more time so that we can get financial assistance from the state. So that's my position. We can't vote on that because it's not on the agenda tonight, but I'd like to put it on the agenda for our next public meeting, which happens to be Saturday. But I know we've only got 4 people showing up. So if people are uncomfortable with putting it on the agenda for that, then I suggest that we put it on for some date, during the week, like it, whatever, next Tuesday or any date, as long as we have enough time to announce it, so that we have all commission members available to vote on this issue. And the issue is, do we favor a resolution to support the extension of that reverter clause until 2033? It's that simple. I'm not asking you to weigh in on this, just to think about it. And if we can do it, if we can put it on the agenda for Saturday, great. But if we're missing 3 people, I would actually prefer to put it on a date when everybody can be present to weigh in on this. And it would be 7:30 on some weeknight. It's done by Zoom. It's not an inconvenience. I think we could do it in 15 minutes. I know some people may want to be heard on the issue, but it's not going to be lengthy. It's because we went through this in 22 when it was an article, and then it was taken off of the town meeting, and then it was put back on in 2023. So most of the positions have been articulately stated, and some quite eloquently, but I don't think it'll take a lot of time. So first question is there a consensus that we should set up a separate public meeting for this, not this Saturday? We can do it on Saturday, but only 4 people will be in attendance. So my suggestion would be we put it on for a weekday at everyone's convenience. Any thoughts on that? Because we will be asked, and I'm sure the proponents are going to say, "What's the position of the Conservation Commission?" Because it's your land that you gave to the school department in exchange for the 75 acres, and by extending this, you're decreasing the chance that you're going to get that 2.8 acres back, while increasing the likelihood of state support for the new school. So my proposal is we put it on, and I'll just make up a date next Tuesday night at 7:30 by Zoom, and that would be the one item on the agenda. Is that acceptable to everybody? Can everybody make it next Tuesday night?
It's October 21, John, right?
Yes.
Okay, I can.
You can? You cannot. When could you do it the next night, Wendy? Wednesday, the 22nd.
No, but Thursday I can.
Thursday, what is it, 23rd? Is that right?
It is correct. Thursday, the 23rd.
Okay, if that was our target, can you make that one, Arthur?
Yes.
Ingrid?
At what time?
7:30.
Oh, 7:30. I think.
I just say that for consistency. If you want to make it 7 o'clock, I don't care, but.
Yeah. No, I think that'll work.
Charlie?
Yes.
Tom?
Yeah, that date's okay, I believe.
Steve?
Yes.
Philip?
Yes.
Did I ask everybody? I'm just kind of circling around here.
Hans.
What's that?
We'll have to check with Hans too.
Right. I will. All right. So we'll put it on, and the agenda item is a vote on a resolution on whether to support Article 6 for the Milton Town meeting to be held October, is it the 29th?
27th.
No, it's the 27th.
Monday the 27th.
27th? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
We're gonna
so the
start-
agenda has to be very clear on that, that's the purpose of the meeting. It's a
Okay, so can we do that again? Vote on a resolution.
on whether to support Article 6 at Milton Town Meeting scheduled for October 27th, to begin October 27th. There aren't many articles, so we hopefully will finish in one night, but we might not. So to begin, scheduled to begin on October 27th.
Vote on a resolution on whether to support Article 6 of the Milton Town Meeting to begin on October 27th.
Yes, that's correct. Monday, I think it's the 27th. Yes.
All right.
Okay, is that agreeable to everybody? Yes?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, because the question's going to come up, and if I know they're going to ask me, and I can speak for myself, but I can't speak for the committee, for the commission. So we need to have it, resolved. All right, I don't have any other additional business. So unless anybody else does, I think we're good to adjourn.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
See you.
All in favor?
See you Saturday.
Aye.
All right, good. See you Saturday. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.